Hi, everybody. Welcome to All Games New and Old. I am David Rodriguez, and this is another mic drop episode where I interview someone in gaming, and then we do a debate about a not very controversial topic. And I'm really excited because my guest today is the Board Game Gran herself, Angela. How's it going, Angela?
It's going good. It's been a good week. Life is good at the moment, David. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited because for me it is Sunday and for you it is Monday, and I've never interviewed someone from the future before. So
I'll give you the lottery numbers after the video.
Please do. Wow, that'd be great. If only it worked that way. That'd be so
Right?
wonderful. Everyone would be calling up their Australian friends all the time. That might kind of break the system somehow. I don't know.
I think it would. The universe would crack.
Yeah, it could be an issue. But seriously though, I'm really glad to have you on because when I started this journey, like you were one of the first people that I felt was really just encouraging and always kind of there on Twitter. I mean, it's not like we're talked constantly, but I really just always appreciated all your input whenever you gave it to me. And so I knew I had to get you on kind of early on to this because I just want to have a sit down and have a conversation with you. So,
that's nice. Well, let me just say, back in the day, all those months or years ago, your videos stood out to me because they're different. There's many content creators now, and I loved them. Like, I haven't had time recently. You've probably noticed I've dropped off on the comments.
Oh yeah, that's okay though.
Work and life. I've done that with everybody. I feel terrible, but
yeah,
I loved your videos. It was genuine. It wasn't, there was no blowing smoke or anything. It was genuine fanship from me.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. I'm trying not to blush. But it's weird. I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you. Like there are so many content creators that I love. I mean, I like everything they do. I'm able to keep up on podcasts because in my job, I'm just kind of driving around all day, so I can just listen all the time. But watching videos has been really difficult lately. We have kids at the age where we're all, fighting over the TV. So that's part of it. And it's just hard to get the time away right now. I don't know if maybe there's just something in there where everyone's life is getting hectic. I'm not sure, but
it's crazy. It used to be easy, didn't it? Because I would sit in my office and do it during the day when I was working. But now there's so many Zoom meetings and things, you can't have it sitting there for hours on end. Enjoying all the content. So
yeah, that's very tough. But I always feel awful if I'm like way behind. Like there's so many people that I wanted to keep up on things they did, and I have fallen off so hard that it's almost like I'm just gonna have to not watch the older stuff anytime soon. You know what I mean? I have to just start watching where they're at and hope someday I can go back and get it all figured out. But it's rough.
Too much.
But yeah, it is. But obviously you were not always. I assume you didn't just start playing board games and immediately jump into content creation. You're probably playing board games for a good long time, I imagine, before that. How did you discover this hobby?
Everyone always says the same thing, don't they? I played Monopoly and I played Scrabble and those things. And that is true. I did do those things, but I'm going to be completely honest with you and say, yes, I've always been a gamer. I've always been a video gamer. I've always been a tabletop role player. And I did play board games back in the day at that club, which I was the only girl at for the entire time, pretty much until I moved. And we used to play Cosmic Encounter and Tractics and Car Wars, all those kind of things. But the game that got me into board gaming was Lords of Waterdeep.
Oh wow, great game!
Quite a new one.
Yeah, I mean, now I think people would. I feel like games become old like so quickly that now I think people would say that would probably say it's old, but it's not really. I mean, I don't remember when it came out, but not that true.
I don't know, maybe a decade ago, something like that. It came out.
Yeah, something like that.
Not that long ago, anyway. So
yeah, do you still play the game?
Do you know what? I literally just bought it and the expansion. Not last week, the week before. My son-in-law is the person that introduced it to me. So he's to blame for this. Blame him. Like, Holly, this is your fault.
Right
Um,
on.
and he's selling a lot of his collection, and I saw
Oh,
that those were on his list, and I said, I'm not buying any games at the moment. I think I'm in a major cull, and
right.
I've made a pact. But when I saw it was the game that got me into the
Yeah.
hobby, I was like, I
Right.
need to buy them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Do you like that, the expansion? Have you played it with expansion yet?
I haven't played it with the expansion. I literally bought the expansion just because I thought, well, he's selling it. I may as well get both.
Right. You know, I probably would have done the same thing, but I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, this game needs this expansion. Like I'm against that entire concept. Like almost every game they say that about, I disagree, and I disagree on this one too. But I will say, um, I may not use the right terminology because it's been a while since I looked at it. One of like the modules in that expansion has this corruption track thing, and
Okay.
I love it because it's like you can get big rewards easier, but it can cost you in the end if you have like the most corruption because you're using like your seedier methods to get your
Okay.
it's it's
It's
brilliantly
Mass
done.
Effect thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. I definitely, if you get a chance to try it, definitely do.
Oh,
But
awesome.
you know, I just like my first like real hobby game was Shadows over Camelot, and I
Mhm.
bought it, and I think I've played my copy once several years ago, and I I would still play it, I guess, but like I don't think I'll ever get rid of it just because it was that first one.
Yeah,
There's
you're
a
into
little
the game.
sentimental value to that for sure. So, what made you decide to start doing content then? Because that's a whole bigger step into this hobby, I think.
Yeah, well, I was already doing content. I've been
Oh,
on YouTube for years doing
okay.
mods and prop making and cosplay things
Oh wow.
and Nerf modding. So my channel's always sat there, my big channel. And then I
Right.
thought I need a channel with just board games because people don't want to watch me paint a Nerf gun or make Wonder Woman armor. They're interested in board games. So that was how I started Board Game Gran.
Yeah, it's tough when you have a lot of interest and you kind of want to share all of them, I think,
Mm,
but you can't really like eh, it's you're not
yeah.
gonna take the person who's into just one of those and make them like all of them, I don't think usually.
Yeah.
Like
It's a hard sell.
right. Like before I started this, I was like, if only I could do something that combined some of the things I like. If it was um, if I could have a show about crimes that were committed using board games in a wrestling ring, if I could find just one crime like that, I'd be set. But I don't think there's even one, to be honest with you. I don't think there's been a single instance of that. So
No, I don't think so.
I'm out of luck. I'm out of luck.
Yeah.
So okay, so you've been doing the board games specifically for about how long now, you think?
Oh, geez, I don't even know. Board Game Gran.
It
Maybe
becomes a
two
blur.
years?
2 years?
May-
Okay.
Maybe?
Okay, okay. So I don't have like a too huge a backlog of content to try to catch up with everything. I just kind of been picking out sporadic because of the reasons we talked about earlier, where it's hard to find time. But um, I one of the things I like that well, I like it when you do your are you calling them the gush? Am I right? Where you look at like you're doing unboxings and you're just like you did one
Oh,
for chai recently that
yeah.
before that, I almost knew nothing about that game. I mean, it looked pretty, but I wasn't really interested in it. And just I think your excitement in that, I was like, I gotta check out this game. This like
Oh,
it
if
looks
you
so
want to
cool.
see me really, really embarrass myself, go over
Uh
to my
huh.
old channel and look at my giant Takenoko unboxing, David, because
Oh.
that's embarrassment for years.
Now maybe I have to do that. That
Oh,
sounds
I was
fantastic.
so excited. I cannot put it into words. It was my Grail game, and I'd saved up, and then I went to America and I was going to buy it there, and I couldn't bring it back. It was too big.
Right.
So I spent that money on holiday, came back, started resaving, eventually got the money, and it arrived in the mail. And oh, so excited.
That's that. I'm trying to make sure I'm not wrong. That's the one with the panda, right? And like
That's the
the
one.
bamboo. So okay, okay. I
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't totally sure, but I thought so. I've even played that on BGA not that long ago. You think I would remember, but I was getting that confused as Takedo, which I haven't played, but
Everybody
you
does.
know.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So that's good. So is that like one of your favorite games, or are you just impressed with like the hugeness of that
It
particular set?
was one of my favorite games. Like, it was
Okay.
my one of the beginner games, like I said, with the, D&D one.
Right.
It's yeah, it's got nice family memories for me, and I just love how there's no drama in it. There's no
Oh yeah.
shooting, there's no hurting anyone else. You're just pottering about doing your thing. I love it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I didn't totally like whenever I play on BGA, well, not whatever, but a lot of the times I don't really know exactly what the heck I'm doing. I'm just kind of like I'll kind of scan the rules, but I don't always take them in that well. And so then I'm just like, well, it's not going to let me do anything I can't. So it's fine. And so I was having a little trouble like figuring out how to do the little waterways. I think I was doing
Oh, the
something wrong.
irrigation.
Yeah, like I thought I knew what I was doing and then it wouldn't let me do it and I couldn't figure out what. I don't know what I did. But it's not even that complicated a game, but anyway, but it did seem like kind of just cool and mellow and of course just very cute with the panda and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
I like
I would love to.
those. I suck at games, David.
I do too,
Like,
100%.
I am terrible at them, but I love them.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
yeah, and I don't like being mean in games. I
Right,
prefer games where, and there's probably games behind me that are mean, but I probably haven't
sure.
played them yet. But if they're too mean, I don't really enjoy them.
Right, because you mentioned earlier like one of the things you liked about Takenoko is that you're not like attacking and shooting each other. And are you like very against that as a theme in a game, or is it just like would you play a game like that, or is it just not
I
your
think it's a
preference?
mix of
Or
things. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm like a huge Halo fan, and
mm,
I don't mind my shooters,
right.
but in board games, because I suck at them so much, I know I'm going to get smashed if someone's attacking other people, and they're going to attack me because I'm
Right.
terrible.
That's fantastic. Like I'm the same. I lose way, 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 way more often than I win. I've been on Mr. Rao's gaming channel a few times playing with Tim from Board Game Hot Takes. I called it Hot Cakes again. And
Everybody does.
and Riley from Board Game Community Show, and I've not won a single game yet. I got second in Race for the Galaxy last time, and I was happy with that because I was like, that is the closest I've come to a victory, but I just can't. My wife defeats me
Yeah,
regularly.
same.
It's a bit of a miracle if I ever win. So I feel you. I think someday you and I should play some game together and just see what happens if somehow we both lose in a competitive game, because
Oh, that'd
I
be
feel like
amazing, wouldn't it?
I think some kind of like hole would rip open in reality. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'd be willing to try it.
yeah.
Uh,
Where are you
yeah.
anyway? I should have asked you this before we started filming because.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I'm in like the Seattle area of Washington State.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, we're up there in the corner, and
Up there in the
it's
cool, what do I remember from being in Seattle? Hilly, very
mhm,
hilly.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of hills and a lot of rain. Although it doesn't usually rain hard. It's not usually. It's usually just kind of like a very frequent drizzle.
Gentle rain.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. We've had a couple nasty ones, but not too much. The tricky thing is that we're not always the best prepared for when it snows here. And so if it gets really bad, there's some problems with those hills. That's not it's not a good combination of things.
Yeah.
So
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Sorry for
yeah.
taking up the topic there.
No, it's fine. We can chat about literally anything. You could talk about painting Nerf guns if you want to. That's fine.
Oh,
Uh,
no. Okay.
so so I know you're over in Australia,
Yeah.
and I up to you whether or not you want to say what area. I'm not gonna
I'm in Brisbane, which is in
Brisbane. Okay,
Queensland. The
okay, that's what I
Florida
was
of
thinking.
Australia.
Oh, that's probably not good.
Oh.
I don't know. um,
Well, less politically speaking, but
oh, okay.
temperature
Well,
speaking,
it
yeah.
might be okay. Okay, that's okay. But yeah, that's fine. I just oh, Florida is I don't even I can't even
Yeah. Let's
I
not
don't
even go
nothing
there. 'Cause I
nothing
really don't
against
wanna do
yeah,
that.
I know. Nothing against anyone who lives in Florida, that's fantastic, but there's
I will be in Florida in 10 weeks. Woo
oh
woo.
boy, that's exciting. I would love to go visit. I would go visit Florida. That'd be fantastic, I'm
Oh,
sure. But
I've been there numerous times. Looking forward
I
to it.
feel like you've been more places in the US than I have. I don't know if
I've
that's
been to
true.
most of the states. I think I've 6 to
Wow.
go, I think.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been that's amazing. You're in Australia and you've been more spots in the United States than I have. I don't know how many states I've been to. Like, I've been all up the West Coast 'cause I lived there and Arizona and some kind of straight line between California and Nebraska because we did road trips. I don't remember our path though because I was young. I've been to New York and Connecticut and Washington D.C. and not too much else that I can recall. So
Oh,
yeah.
my wife and I, we love a good US road trip. We love
Oh,
America. We
right.
actually wanted to move to America from the UK,
Oh,
and we couldn't get in. So, oh, we could
wow.
get in, but it was going to cost $200,000 to get in.
What?
Yeah.
That
That's
wow.
2 university educated, no criminal record people, and we had to
I
buy a
have
$200,000 business and hire, I think it was 8 American citizens to be able to live there.
I have never heard of that. That's so
Mhm.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
the
intense.
UK and Australia don't have a green card lottery. It's
Oh,
I think it's Ireland that have the green card lottery. So there's no chance of getting it. You have to buy your way in.
that seems messed up. I'm
Yeah, it's not
just gonna put
ideal,
that
is it?
out there.
Especially because
No.
we love the country so much, you
Yeah.
know, but it is what it is.
I mean,
That's why we moved to Australia. So
yeah. It can only be better if you moved here. You would improve the country just by your presence. I'm 100% certain. And I
we
would have
do
said that even before we got all crazy down here. So, um,
love
yeah. Anyway, um,
Anyway,
those are fun topics to go into. So, okay. So do you still do the NERF modding thing?
I live in an apartment now. I don't have a workshop anymore. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I've only heard there was some I don't even remember what podcast I was listening to where they were talking about the NERF modding community, and that was the first time I heard about it. And it sounds so intense. Like people are like trying to get them to be like as strong as possible without, you know,
Yeah, they're
harming anything.
internal mods. I never really did internal mods. I would pull them
Okay.
apart, paint them, and turn them into other things. Like I turned one into Claptrap from Borderlands and
Yeah.
things like that. But yeah, no, I'm not interested in the power thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. I
I've
I
been
don't know.
making meatballs. I do those even though I don't have a workshop because they're
Oh,
easy. I can
really?
do them on the coffee table.
Really? Do
Yeah,
you
like
just use like a
the
mold
plain
or something
meatballs.
or?
They're up here on this shelf.
Oh man.
Have you not
I
seen them?
I don't maybe I just didn't realize what I was seeing or something. I don't know.
They're just little things that I sit on my shelf
Okay.
when I'm
I
bored
might
and I
have
want to get that art thing out of
okay.
me.
I'm gonna go plow through more of your videos and try to spot them because I apparently I don't know if I just was like focusing on you and what you were saying, but I didn't realize. So I'm gonna have to
Oh,
see what they are.
I probably haven't put videos up about them. I think
Okay. Okay.
actually I put one up because people said, "How did you make them?" So I think there's one showing how I made them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, what I was curious, I know you don't play mean games very often, but when you do and someone does something especially mean to you, do you go grab a Nerf gun and just pummel them with Nerf bullets or whatever they're called?
No, no, I try
No?
not to.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a pacifist. I try not to be mean in any way.
I have trouble imagining that, but it's like I could just imagine you being across the table and then, somebody does something and then like your face just changes and you reach
Oh,
under the
right, yeah.
table where you have this hidden Nerf gun
See, when
holster.
I'm playing cash and guns, it can get pretty nasty, David.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. That would be amazing. Oh, I don't want to see you snap. That could be
Oh,
something else.
I'm medicated. It's all good.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, me too. So that's great. We'll be fine. We can play together. It'll be all right. There won't be any issues. Gosh, yeah. It's funny with the violent game things, because I'm personally like I'm a very not non-violent person. Like I don't even it would take this I don't even know what it would take to get me to like react violently in person, like something
Yeah.
really over the top, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason in games, whether it's video games or board games, it doesn't really phase me. Like it just seems like, okay, well, that's just the theme, whatever. Um, and I don't know why that is, because it seems like an odd sort of disconnect where like it
Well,
seemed like it would
you're not really hurting someone, are you, if you're playing a board game
right,
or a video game? So
right. Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. It is a little bit different, but man, I don't know. It's just one of those odd things with people, I think, where we're able to kind of look at these two
Oh,
things in
for
such a
sure.
different way. And um but I've also heard some people that really can't, like they're really bothered a lot when there is like a violent theme in a game, that it's too off-putting for them. Um
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
and I,
that's not me. I don't mind at all. Like I said, each to their own. But
yeah,
yeah, it's more about the cross table conversation for me. So
right.
if I know that you've just worked your ass off, oh, am I allowed to say that? Oops.
Yeah,
If
you can
you've
say
just
it's fine.
worked, if you just worked your butt off for a half an hour building something, and then I'm like, ha, smash.
Right. Yeah.
There's no fun. There's no fun for me.
Yeah, I have trouble with that. If it's a short, quick game and it's got that kind of meanness to it, then it's fine, because it's no one did anything for that long that you're messing it up. But if
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you're playing a Euro game or whatever, I guess maybe not a Euro, whatever, that lasts 2 hours, and and then you
yeah.
undo some big thing, like, oh, I don't know, feels,
Horrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel
Dirty.
guilty about it.
Ugh.
I'll be doing my move and be like, I'm so sorry. It's just this is what makes sense to do. I have to do it.
Yes.
Oh man. So do you tend to play a lot of cooperative games?
Yeah, I love cooperative games. Pandemic is my favorite game of all time, and I own all the Pandemics. They're probably here
Oh wow.
somewhere. Yeah,
That was a cool little dancing. That was nice.
the Pandemic dance.
Yeah. I've only I'm trying to think the Pandemics. I mean, obviously I played the original, and I have the for Legacy Season 1, but I haven't even broken the shrink wrap on that yet. I don't think I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I've played any of the other ones actually. Do they feel significantly different from one another?
Well, firstly, I would say you need to crack that open, because that is a great game. Like, oh, it's one of my favorite game experiences of
Right.
all time. And I just saw there's a new Pandemic coming out, and I can't remember what the theme was, but I was super pumped.
There's like a Star Wars Clone Wars one.
Oh, that was it.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should be kind of. I didn't realize that was a Pandemic system game until like I think yesterday I heard on something. I thought it was just some new game that was coming out. So
Yeah.
that's
Woohoo.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always tempted by the Cthulhu one, because I like the Cthulhu games, but it seems like a lot of people that's not their favorite.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
a
know.
huge Cthulhu fan, and I would not rate that one at the top.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But what is, other than the main one, then what is your second favorite Pandemic?
People are going to hate this when they watch this.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I can't even remember the name of it. It's the one with the real time one.
Oh
So
shoot.
yeah,
I can't remember this.
that is a hoot. If you are with the right group of people playing that, it's just absolute mania.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, I can almost picture the box too, and for some reason I can't make out the.
Yes,
I can't think of what
I
the
should
title is
know.
either.
I'm a huge Pandemic fan.
Well, there's a lot of them. It's hard to
So
keep
do
them
we.
all straight.
Rapid response.
Rapid. Oh, that even makes sense. Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Before I really started trying them, I always thought, oh, I don't know about real-time games. That sounds like not what I'm looking for. And I still probably don't want to play them all the time, but there's been a couple that I played that are just so much fun. Like the tension it creates is really can be real. I mean, it's stressful, but it's like the good kind of fun stress where you just want to like scream because you're like, oh, I gotta do whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah,
Gosh, that could be a real blast. So
yeah,
so I can
definitely.
understand that.
Have you played Fuse?
I've not
The
played
dice
Fused.
one? That's
Uh-uh.
great because it comes with an app and the voice on the app super sassy, like as you're playing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
I do. My wife and I have played 5 Minute Marvel, I think, and it's a Marvel Comics themed game, and you're just trying to defeat. It's not really 5 minutes because you have 5 minutes to defeat each bad guy, so you're supposed to go through all of
Oh,
them. You don't
okay.
have. You could just do one, but and you're just playing down cards as fast as you can. And you need to match these symbols, but you can get an app that has the timer, and then it has oh geez, I am blanking on the dang Jarvis. It has Jarvis like also just coming in a very like just calm British way, trying to
Yeah.
explain to you that you're about to ruin everything because you're not getting it done. So
Oh, that sounds
that's
cool.
it's pretty neat. I mean, it's the theme really doesn't matter because you're going too fast to appreciate the cards or
Yeah,
anything really, but
fair enough.
it's a fun one. Although, like I've been playing with my wife, and we'll be getting to the point where our voices are getting a little snippy with each other, but we're not actually mad. Like by then, we're not mad. It's just that the stress of it, like it sounds like we're like actually bickering, and like we don't even usually bicker over like real life things. So it's it's a little intense as far as that goes.
Yeah, those games are great though, and you should record it because one of my more popular videos was my wife and I playing Calico and the
Oh,
stress that we felt while we were playing it.
yeah. I need to figure out. I don't really even know how to do because I don't know how. I'd have to see how you set it up. But some people obviously have multiple cameras doing things, and I don't even have multiple cameras. I guess I could use my phone and my camera, but I'm not sure how I'd set that up. But it's something I would mind looking into. But we'll see. I feel like that's further down the pipeline for me yet.
Yeah,
But
I only ever use one camera. I
oh,
don't
do
have.
you? Okay.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I don't have time. The Annabelle over at Meeple Village does
Right.
amazing playthroughs, and she even unboxes with multiple cameras. And I'm just like, my head is exploding as to
Oh
the
my
edit
gosh.
time on those.
Yeah, that would be really intense, and, ugh, I don't mind editing, but if it's something that has, like, a lot of pieces to it, it starts to drive me a little bit insane. Um,
Yeah.
I one of my special guests was this, cyberpunk character, and I had all kinds of, like, glitch stuff going on. I was doing, like, weird, like, layered voice effects, and I was like, "I hope I don't play a lot of cyberpunk games because I can't." This is a lot. It turned out cool,
Yeah.
I think, but it was just so much to do. Oh my gosh, I can only
Oh, you
imagine
put
having multiple
so much effort into them. Like, that's why I was drawn to your channel. That's what I'm saying. I was a true fan. Well, still am. I just don't have time now to
Yeah.
watch them. I've probably missed loads of awesome characters.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I hopefully they've been okay, I'm not sure, but, it's
They
it's
will have been awesome.
it's been they're fun to do, and that what you mentioned is really the reason I did. I just wanted to have something different so it wasn't just
Yeah.
me doing the reviews, and I'm sure some people turn it on and are like, "Oh, what is this junk?" Like, I don't know. I just wanna know about the game. I'm certain there are people who do that, but, um, YouTube just recently, because I have it set so that any, like, comments that are I forget how they word it, but possibly offensive,
Mhm.
it hides because, like, I don't really need to
Oh,
worry about that. But then the other day, it, like, unleashed, like, 2 of them on me that were from months ago, and they weren't that bad, actually. They were a little bit snarky, but that's fine. But, it I think the guy just looked at, like, the thumbnail, and it was I've got, like, a sci-fi character who wears, like, a Star Trek outfit and, like, has, like, a weird visor thing, and the comment was, "WTF, are you in a cult?" Like like, wow,
yes,
no,
the
I'm not
cult
in
of
a
board games.
yeah, and it wasn't even my cultist character, so I don't know what that's about. I was a
Yeah.
little
Oh, let's not
disappointed.
go there. I've had some terrible comments on YouTube. They can really mess with you if you let them get to you, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm amazed I haven't had, like, huge amounts, like, I've had, one person that got on me because I didn't know a certain character from one IP that he really thought I should have known. Like that, I did the game and I was like, I don't remember this character, and like the person was like, this character is really important in this storyline. You say you're a fan, but I don't think you are. I'm like,
Oh,
all right, man,
jeez.
but I haven't watched this thing since I was like 8, so cut me some slack. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Most of my negative comments are usually about how I look, the fact I'm a
Oh
woman,
God.
and I don't know what I'm
Uh,
talking about. But yeah, so at least you don't have to put up with that part of it.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I would ever actually complain about anything I got, because you're definitely not the first woman content creator I've talked to that
Oh,
has gotten
terrible.
horrible. I just don't understand this. Like, honestly, like if I'm very glad that I don't have this particular bias. But let's say let's say for some reason I didn't like getting my information from women, right? Which is goofy, but let's just say I did, right?
Yeah.
Assuming everything else in my brain was the same as it is now, I would just be like, well, you know what? I'm just not going to watch that one. And that's the
Yeah.
end of the day. Like, that's it. I don't
Yeah.
have, like, I don't wouldn't feel the need to be like, there's a lot of people that I don't watch, and it's not because they're horrible people. It's just like, whatever. They're just not my cup of tea, but I don't go in and being like, hey, I think your channel's stupid.
Right? That's
Why?
the
Just
thing.
don't
To
watch.
actually
It's
take
fine.
time to make someone else's day miserable is
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah, I don't get, and don't I'm thrilled if someone like gives me a tip like, oh, you should maybe try doing this, whatever. That's fine. Whether I take the tip or not, like that's cool. That doesn't bother me. Or if they have like
Yeah, of
a,
course.
a genuine criticism, that's great. But
Mm.
if someone, I'm so white presenting, but if someone came after me because my last name's Rodriguez, I'd be like, this is the stupid. Just don't watch me. Like, who cares? Just don't watch me.
Yeah.
Watch somebody else.
Yeah,
It's not.
true.
I don't get it. People are
Yeah,
insane.
I like critique. Like, I don't mind that at all. Tim Chuan, I don't wanna say his name
Yeah,
wrong.
I know what you're talking about.
You
Yeah,
know who he is?
yeah.
When I started Board Game Gran, and I think I put out a tweet saying, "Any tips?" And he was so lovely. He sent me a massive
Oh.
list of tips, things that I should change and try doing better and things like that. And I've
Right.
never forgotten it. Really nice that he took the time
Oh, that's
um,
really cool.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
cool
funny
guy.
because I don't remember what game I was looking for, and I came across this video, and he has a lot of followers, and for some reason I at that point hadn't come across him. It's so odd how you know
Yeah,
you can miss out on even really big names for whatever reason. Like, it just YouTube doesn't show them to you or what have you. And I was shocked. I was like, how did I miss this guy? Because whatever,
yeah.
I
His
wish I could
stuff's
remember what game it
so
was, but he was
good.
great.
He's
Yeah.
very
Oh, it's so
professional.
polished looking too.
Oh,
It's crazy.
yeah,
Oh,
very
he knows what he's doing. That's for sure. Someday I hope to get there. We'll see what happens.
good.
So, earlier you mentioned how you are trying to cull your collection. You're trying to limit
Yes.
it down. And I have to be honest, that because I have some things going on in my brain about that too. And that is why I
Okay.
decided that our debate topic should be one of us will take the side of if it is better to have a big collection, and the other will take the side of it being better to have a small collection. All right, so we're at the part of the episode where we do our debate about a not very controversial topic. One of us is going to take the side of that a big board game collection is better, and the other is going to take the side saying a small board game collection is better. And we are going to find out which side we're taking randomly, and we're going to find out what our turn order is randomly. And so how this is going to go is we're first each going to have an opening statement. Then we can have a rebuttal or just middle statement if you like. And then we'll do our closing statements, again, in turn order. And that's going to be it. After that, we'll have a little talk about how we actually feel about this issue, so we're not misrepresenting ourselves. And dear viewers, what I want you to do is go into the comments and tell us which one of us you think won this debate. And this is very important because at least as of the time I'm recording this, I've only had one of my debates voted on. I only know who won one of the debates. And others, I don't know. And I need to know because I can't sleep at night. Angela won't be able to sleep at night. We'll always wonder.
I am going to be so terrible at this, David, that you have already won. You just don't know it yet.
That is, listen, look, I am not saying this to brag or intimidate. The one that I have gotten votes on, I've actually won. And that's amazing because I am an extremely socially awkward individual. So if I can win one that way, that means you could win one too. So don't worry about it. There's no stakes. There's nothing on the line here. It's just going to be fun. We are going to discuss this thing. And then also, if any of you folks have any input on your own opinion, I'd love to hear that too. And, we'll see how this goes. So here's what I'm going to do. Through the magic of technology, I have a number randomizer on my phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click it. It's going to pick a number between 1 and 10. But very simply, if it is an odd number, Angela, you are going to be arguing that a small collection is better. Okay. If it's an even number, you're going to be arguing that a big collection is better. Okay? Yeah. I'm going to try to find the button without actually seeing it. Is that a 6? 6. So you're going to be arguing that a big collection is better.
Okay. I'll give it a go.
All right. So now we're going to find out the turn order we go in. So again, if it is odd, Angela, you're going to go first. And if it's even, you'll go second.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're going second.
Okay.
You're arguing that a big collection is better. And I'm arguing that a small collection is better.
Okay. If I start arguing that a small collection is better, it's just because I'm terrible at debating.
It's completely fine. Every time I've done this and I've done the randomization thing, I've immediately forgotten what the odd and the even number actually means. For some, like it just completely goes out of my head. But okay, I'm going to try not to do that this time. So I'm arguing that a small collection is better.
Okay.
The irony of us doing this in front of our walls of board games is not lost on me. So this is going to be something. Okay. My bank account looks terrible. It's really bad. It's embarrassing. I always complain that my money's tight. Always, always, always. And I suppose, if I'm being honest with myself, some money is going to games that doesn't have to go to games. I have too many games. These games behind me, you think, oh, wow, I see that game. I'm going to ask David what he thinks of that game. I'm going to guess. I'm trying to scan my games real quickly behind here. I'm going to be really generous and say there's a 50-50 shot. I'm going to be able to tell you anything about the game you ask me about because I haven't played some of them. I just keep buying them. So I am a person who has what I consider a big collection, but a big collection is really not the way to go. It doesn't honestly make sense. Now, if I was someone who actually made his living off of playing games, let's say I'm Tom Vassell, right? I'm not, in case you didn't know, maybe it would make sense to have a collection this big. He can play, I don't know how many games a day. That's fantastic. But most of us, I don't even know what percentage, way higher than 99, like we're at 99.99999% of the world. It doesn't make sense. I don't have time for this. You probably don't have time for this either. It's crazy. And these games are not small. I have a few small ones, but your average size is like Forbidden Waters back here, probably, maybe. That's not a small box. That's like, a slightly different shape, like a shoebox size as far as volume. How many of those can you fit in your house? I mean, God forbid you have to move at some point. It's nonsense. And frankly, it's actually kind of wasteful. I mean, these things, they aren't made in like a replicator on Star Trek. Like, these are trees, right? And they are, God knows what the companies that make plastic stuff are doing. It's bad. It's bad all around. This is a big problem. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, I've got hundreds of games and I've played them all. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I have more thoughts on that I'll get to a little bit later. But I think you see my point. A big collection, as nice as it might make you feel, is ultimately wasteful and complete nonsense. And that's my opening statement.
Wow, okay. So let's start with the cost. I tend to buy a lot of my games secondhand, and I am helping that other person get some cash so they can buy a new game themselves. And I'm making my stupendously large collection even larger, which, as every board gamer knows, is the ultimate goal. Let's get onto plastic and trees, killing those trees. They don't kill trees to make cardboard. They use dead trees, deadfall. I was just reading about it yesterday. In fact, a Kickstarter that's doing wooden pens, and everyone in the comments saying, this is terrible, you've killed a 3,000-year-old tree or something. And they said, no, it's deadfall. So you've got to take that into consideration. And as for plastic, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, David, if plastic wasn't a thing, would we? We need plastic. Plastic's good. Plastic's a good thing. So I think having a big collection is fun. And when people look at the collection and you can only say, I've played 50%, that's good as well, because it means you've got a freaking awesome collection. I couldn't even tell you how probably 30%, I can tell you 30% of these played. 70% I probably couldn't tell you, because my collection's so large. It fills my heart with joy, and we need joy in the world, David. We need joy. So there, have at it. I told you I'd be funny terrible, didn't I?
No, you're doing awesome. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I shouldn't be rooting for you. But anyway, let me get that wasn't a clap to edit. I'm just clapping because. All right. So those, I believe in giving credit where it's due. Those were honestly some really fantastic points. I especially liked the point you made about the cardboard and the trees and it being deadfall. I'd like to point out that everything is alive until something kills it. It's deadfall. Sure. Okay. Right. Sure. Maybe. We'll see. I'm sure. Anyway, I'm going to get back to something I mentioned earlier. People who are like, well, I have, hundreds of games and I've played them all. Great. Cool. That's awesome. How much have you played all those games? Like, I can believe, like, if I just play each one of these once, I probably would have gotten through them. But is that really what you want to do with a game? I mean, back here, it's really hard to point this way, by the way. I've got Descent, Journeys in the Dark, okay? I have that. I've got a few expansions for that. Do you know how far I've gotten into that game? Like 2 adventures, maybe 3. Into the base box, okay? I'm not even the expansions, right? And if I got rid of like 90% of this stuff and didn't have it on my mind, I need to play it, I'd probably have time to actually do that and delve deeper. Or I don't think it's on my screen right now. There's a heavy game that called The Gallerist. That is a Vito Lacerda game, right? Very deep games. I played it once solo and once with my wife, and both times I've come away thinking like, wow, that was a really neat game. There sure is a lot to explore here, and there's a lot to figure out in terms of strategy. And since playing that, which I'm going to say it's been maybe a year, not sure, somewhere in my head or my heart, I've wanted to play that. But who has the time when you have like, you want to play all this, or you wouldn't have bought it, right? Who has the time? Am I ever going to get back to going in there and discovering the strategies in that game? Is that actually, am I even going to remember how to play that game when I get back to it? Because it's not simple. This is crazy. This is nuts. I'm buying stuff that I know I will not get to anytime soon. I want to, I would love to, but it's all this idea that somehow we'll have the time in our lives. Somehow, some sort of change will happen in our life, or we'll figure out how to manage our time better. The only way I can manage my time to do this is to not sleep and quit my job. And I will not have these games for very long because at some point I will need to buy food, and at some point it's going to get down to selling these things off. Now that's an extreme example. I admit that, but the point is, even if you can play all these games, you can't give these games the time they deserve. Like there's just no way. You have hundreds of games and you're going to play some deep strategy games enough that you feel like you've really like gotten the most out of it. Like you've squeezed that thing dry. You've figured out all the strategies. You've really explored every aspect of that game. No, you have not. I don't believe it. Not even for a second. I'm going to go out and I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but I've already mentioned him once. So I'm going to go on a limb and say that Tom Vassell, and I don't know, Tom, if you somehow are watching this, don't get mad. I'm guessing, all right? Settle down. Keep your hat on. All right.
He always does.
He always does. It's amazing. I saw him once with that hat, and it was, what? Anyway, I'm betting there are some games that are deep games that he really likes. He likes them a lot, right? And he is not going to get back to them. Or he might like once, but it will have been a long time, and he'll have played who knows how many games since then. And he's not going to get out of it probably what he might like to. And what a bummer. How disappointing is that? You bought this game for, I don't know, say $60, and you're getting $10 out of that. Maybe. I'm being generous there. $10 of fun. You're not getting out of these games what you should, because it's all about getting the new thing, the big thing, the hot thing, which, by the way, it might look real shiny and nice, but may not be better than that original copy of Pandemic that you have, as we were talking about earlier. Maybe that big new fancy co-op looks a lot better, but does that mean that it's better? Really? No, you could be going and just playing the games you have and really exploring them and getting the most out of them. Instead, you're throwing money at big shiny stuff so you can take shelfies and show them online or show people your Gen Con haul. And look, I'm glad all that stuff made you happy. It would make me happy too, to be honest with you. But I'm betting, I know I would, and I'm betting a lot of the people who do that also feel regret, because they know inside, as fun as it might have been to acquire those games, it was a mistake because of space or money or time. It was a mistake. I know it. They know it. I think Angela knows it. Your turn, Angela.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you hit upon a very important thing here, and that thing is choice. Now, when I go to my shelf and I've got a large collection, I've got a lot of choice. And that's fun. Choice is good. God, Americans know about choice. We don't even get free sodas here when we go to restaurants. And our menus are tiny compared to the Cheesecake Factory. Choice is good. Choice is a good thing. So the more games you have, the more choice. And you said there you might want to squeeze a little out of, was it Destiny's or something behind you?
I mean, that would be another good choice, yeah. I mean, I was saying Descent, but Destiny's works too.
Oh, Descent, okay. So imagine that you've got other games that, as you said, you've seen it online and it looks better. You go out and buy it and it is better. Aren't you glad you bought that? Aren't you glad? And you can still go back and play Descent, the original one, for that little nostalgic vibe that it gives you. So, of course, more games is better. Everyone loves choice. That's it. Choice. Cheesecake Factory. Choice.
Okay. That's it's another, you have a lot of good points, Angela. I can't really deny it. I think when you hear all these points that Angela makes on the surface, they all sound fantastic. I mean, choices are great. It's great that we have them,
yes.
Right?
See, you agree.
Sure. Like when I step out the door, I could be like, well, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to go to a game store, or I'm going to go to the grocery store, or I'm going to go drive it off a cliff. Because that's a choice too. You can make that choice. There's a lot of choices. That doesn't mean that those choices are all good. In fact, some of them are downright bad choices. Now, obviously, driving off a cliff doesn't sound good even on the surface. But some choices, they sound like they're going to be good, but they're really not. Like, I could get in my car and be like, you know what? I'm going to go to the casino.
Ooh, bad choice.
Probably a bad choice, right? I would have fun though, right? I mean, maybe until I put my house on a blackjack game, right? Things that look fun on the surface.
I feel like you're underselling board gamers. I think we're all very intelligent to play these games. Even reading rule books can burn your brain, but you get it. So I think we make good choices. We don't drive off cliffs. We don't go into the casino and put our house on a blackjack game. Good choices.
Listen, it's obvious gamers have to be smart people. You can't learn some of these games and not have a brain in your head. That's clear. Right. But we also need to remember that however smart we are, some part of us is still just animals. We have instincts. We have instincts. We are storing this for the winter. The winter of like when we have no responsibilities and nothing but time and groups to play them with. That's what we're storing all of this for. That's why we have it. And you know when that's going to happen? Never. It's never going to happen until maybe you're retired and you're in a retirement home, which by the way, good luck getting a room that's going to like hold all this. But let's say even if you do, listen, when I'm 94, you just watch me try to lift up Gloomhaven and take it downstairs to like the common area. It's not going to happen. Forget it. Are you crazy? You're just going to pull out the same, deck of cards and go down and you're going to play blackjack. And now you're going to be putting your dentures up for that, whatever. Look, you have to like look past what your instincts are telling you. You have to look past this acquire mode. You don't need to store these up for anything. You're storing them up for something that is not going to occur. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your time. Play the games that you have, like play a selection that you have, pick maybe one or two of each mechanic or theme or whatever, and just stick with that. Don't go crazy. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about how many dungeon crawler games I have. And I talked about Descent. That's just one. Are you kidding me? Like I have Madara over here somewhere that is like, I've had it for months and I have not even read the rules yet. I think I did the unboxing and that's the closest I've come to playing that game. And I want to play that game. I want to play that game so much. You don't even know. There's so many games that I'm dying to play. I can't do it. Or when I do it, I'm going to play it like once or twice. And I'm still going to want to play it, but I have to go on to the next thing. There's going to be some new thing. Stop with the new things. And I'm telling myself, as well as I'm telling anyone watching, cut it out. You don't need to do it. If you have games you don't like, get rid of them. Okay. And then if you want to replace it with another game, fine. But keep your collection down. Keep it down to like, I don't know, find a reasonable number for yourself, 10, 30, whatever. Not hundreds. You don't need it. You don't need it. Deep down in your instincts, it's excessive. You're storing them for a time that will never come. A smaller collection makes the most sense. Use the brain that Angela says that you have, and I believe you have too, because I have one. Angela has one too. Use it. Keep your collection small. Don't make the mistakes that I did. I've given up. I've given in to my hoarding instincts too many times. Don't do it. I would be driving a Lamborghini right now. Or
holy crap.
Or a Honda Accord. Maybe a Honda Accord.
I think you just need better time management, David. I believe that you can play those games with better time management. And I do joke with my wife all the time when she says to me, Angela, excessive. And I say, retirement, because I know I'll be playing these in retirement. And when she's there with me, by the way, in that retirement home, she'll be glad of my excessive collection, because we'll have something different to do every day. We won't have to go down to the dining hall and listen to that school come in talking nonsense, all these young children. Get out of here, get off my lawn. I'm going to play a board game in my room. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. You're right that those kids need to leave. That's true. I was one of those kids in elementary school. I don't know what what a mess. Anyway, look, that's great, but don't you think you might want to use that time for something else too? Like maybe you want to travel. I don't know, get an RV, drive around the country, whatever.
I've been to nearly every state in America, David. I don't need to travel when I'm old.
Have you seen Australia though? Like, I'm just curious because you spent a lot of time over here.
I've seen a bit. I've seen four states. We don't have many states.
Look, I don't believe. I feel like by now you would have been mauled by one of those drop bears you guys are famous for. So I don't know if I believe you. I'm trying to trust you. I have concerns, but that's okay. Well, I'm just going to take you at your word. That's fine. You've done some traveling. That's fantastic. But you talked about 2 countries. There are several more.
I've lived in the UK. I've been to Spain. I've been to Greece. Where else have I been? Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. Oh, I get about now while I'm young. See, so I can walk and do things. And then when I'm old and retired, games.
Now, listen, I don't know. Like, I don't know how things work in Australia compared to here. I don't know if when you retire, you're going to be on a fixed income situation or whatever. I don't know, but it could be tight. You might regret having spent all that money on those games. You could be like, oh man, this is too bad that we can't buy
David,
I don't know.
What am I going to do with my money? Am I going to leave it to my kids? My grandkids? No. Board games.
All right, so I'm gonna just to paraphrase. I want to make sure that I've gotten this correct. She talked about choice. You have 2 choices. 2 choices. I pointed once, but 2. You can either love board games or love your kids and grandkids. That's what I hear her saying. So I suggest, wow, you're sticking with it. That's great. I suggest love your children, give them space to play, keep your board games a small amount. Angela has been a lot of places, which is fantastic. But I'm betting because she's traveled so much, she's going to want to travel more and she's older. She doesn't think she will now, and she's not going to be able to take her board games with her. It's a waste. She's wasting money, wasting time, wasting space. She's going to have regrets. Don't be like her. Don't be like me, even with my stupid collection. Don't do it.
Be like me. Be like me. People will always let you down. Always. It doesn't matter whether they're your grandkids or your kids or your sisters, whatever. They'll let you down. Board games never let you down. They'll never let you down. Yeah.
This is taking a very dark turn.
It has. Let me say, I love my grandkids and my kids.
They
are my entire world, and I hope people know I'm only joking.
Yeah. Are we done with the debate part now? Do you have anything
We're
else?
We're done with the debate part because, that was hard because, I'm having a major cull right now and trying to get rid of most of my games.
So, folks, let us know in the comments who won this debate. I'm honestly, I swear, Angela, you swore up and down you're going to be terrible at this, and this is the one so far that I'm most concerned that will not go my way. I'm not joking.
You had very good points, I thought. I was agreeing with all of them in my head.
Yeah. So let's talk about where we're really actually at here. So you you've been talking about limiting and culling your collection. What made you decide to do that?
Because I realized that, like you said, for a game to be a game, you need to play it. And I'm not playing them. Most of the games behind me, I haven't played. I buy them. I love it. I get that kick. I love opening them, punching them, sliding it onto the shelf, stepping back and looking at it. And then it sits there, which is just ridiculous and silly that I've spent $100 on something that is literally gathering dust. So
Yeah.
I've worked hard. I actually think I was addicted to buying games. Like,
Really?
yeah, it definitely was a problem, and
Right.
I've managed to break it. And thank the Lord that I did, because it's not healthy. Not healthy at all.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough thing because I think there is, you get that, the dopamine hit when you buy a game or when it arrives or whatever. Like I love it for sure.
Yeah.
But it is tough. Like most of the things that I were saying, like I'm honestly, do whatever you want, people. Like have a big collection, have a small, I don't care. Like whatever makes you happy. And and I argue with myself internally, right? Because on one hand, I'm like, okay, exactly what I said. A lot of these games I haven't even played, or maybe I played once and I want to play more, and who knows if I'll ever even get to it. That's all true. But I've always been someone who collected things. Like I collected comic books as a kid, and granted, a lot of those I did read over and over again. Those also take like 10 minutes to read, so whatever. But a lot of them, it's like I'd read them once and then I'd put them in the nice little sleeve thing, and then I'd put it on the shelf or box or whatever, and that's where it would stay, because I'm like, I don't want to mess these up. They're they're going to be worth something. That was a little bit different mindset, but I debate whether or not it's wrong-headed to buy games that you may not play right away, because I'm thinking, well, sure, like it doesn't make sense in the gameplay sense of it, but if I look at my shelf and I'm like, oh, that's cool that I have that game, and I'm happy that there's the potential there, right? There's this feeling of potential, like, oh, well, even if I haven't played this yet, when I get to it, that'll be a great time, right? And I debate with myself whether or not that is a reasonable line of thought, or is that almost like what you're saying, like with an addiction kind of mindset? Because I mean, not to get like heavy, but when people are addicted to substances, right? Their brains won't let them think logically about this. Like it won't, unless something real bad happens to them. Like they can't, like it almost rewires how they're thinking. And so they logic themselves out of what they know they should do. And so sometimes I do wonder, like, is this like the same thing? Am I logicking myself out of it, saying like, well, it's okay because I look at these, and whether or not I play them, it makes me feel happy to see the potential. And so it's fine. And maybe it is, but maybe it's not, right? Like maybe that's crazy thinking.
I've got a friend who I bought a lot of board games off. He would, when he did Kickstarters, instead of getting one, he'd get like the bulk order or whatever to make postage cheaper. And he hides games at work, and he hides games in the house from his wife.
Oh no.
And I just think, he's a lovely guy, really nice guy, but I just think you've got a problem. Like,
that's not good.
Hiding it, that's and I never wanted to get to that point with my own wife where I was doing that. So I am really glad that I broke that, whatever that cycle was that I was in was not cool at all. And it's helped me as well, because I'm more thoughtful now about it. And also I found out that I was buying games straight away to be the hotness, so I could talk about it on Twitter or whatever it was. And then a few months later, they'd be either no one was talking about it anymore because it was garbage, or they'd be on sale for like 50% of what I paid for it, and I hadn't even played it yet. So I'm glad. I'm saving money.
No, that makes perfect sense. And a lot of these games do get real cheap. I mean, every once in a while one stays, up there, but I I have the issue where, where I talked about not getting back to games. Since I've been doing content, it's an even bigger issue because, like, I hear people talk about the games they play, and they're playing like I played, 7 games a day, and I've played,
Yeah.
50 games this week. I'm like,
How?
are you kidding me? Like, I
Do you
figure
not
out what I'm
speak
gonna
to your spouse and your
right.
family?
Like, I find out, I decide what game we're gonna review, and then chances are really good that for the next week or two, that is the only thing I'm gonna be playing at all. And even then, it's hard to squeeze in the time to play that
Yeah.
because we have jobs and kids and all that. Everyone has different circumstance, obviously, but like I can't squeeze in all this stuff. So to go back to a game when I'm trying to like have a review for like something different now, it's really hard unless I'm on vacation or something like that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's even more difficult to me now because of my whole like I call it a gimmick, but with my channel, because I'll review older games too. Like theoretically, I could stop buying games today and I would have content forever, right? Like well,
Yeah.
not forever, but at the pace I'm going, I don't
A
need to buy
good long
games
time.
for years. Yeah. But at the same time, I also get in the mindset's like, okay, but are people going to be like, oh yeah, I want to check out his review of this. I just got this. Talk about getting this, a Race for the Galaxy, which came out in 2007. Like, is that going to get a lot of viewers, or is it better to, do more of those reviews of the brand new games? Even if I don't do that every time, there's still kind of a little pressure of like, well, you have to do the new thing to get people to
That's the
watch.
thing I was talking about being in the conversation on Twitter
Mhm.
of it's that feeling of I need that game. Everyone's
Right.
about it and I can't, so I haven't got it. I
Right.
need to get it. And that's
Yeah.
not healthy at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, nobody needs any particular game. There's a lot of great games. There's so many fantastic games, in fact, that you can't play all of them, whoever you are. There's no way. You have to let some go. And logically, and again, this goes contrary to how I actually act. Logically, I know that it would be better to get these games and just like play them a bunch of times and really get the most out of them. Like, I think that really does make the most sense, but I have trouble getting my brain to do that.
Yeah.
That's
It's nice to have new things, right?
Yeah,
We
it
get
is.
excited by it. It's the same with anything. We just got a new car and
Right.
everything's about that car at the moment. We're loving it. It's fun.
Right, of course.
And we thought we'd miss the old car and we haven't even thought about it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
people like new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's it. But yeah, I think again, it's like everyone has different situations, everyone has different space and means and whatnot. But I think something that someone can take from both of us, really. You are in a better spot in this journey, I think, than I am, is that look at your collection and like decide what this actually is to you. Like, are you just collecting to have? Can you do that? And if you can't, figure out how to break yourself out of that mold. I mean, that's something that I there was several months back. I was like, you know what? Actually, it might have been longer than that. It might have been before I was doing content. I was like, I'm just going to, if I buy stuff, I'm just going to buy expansions for games I have. I'm just going to do that. And I think I did that for like 2 months, and then I failed miserably after that. But I think it's important to look at all factors in your life and find out what's actually truly reasonable to you, and tell me if you think I'm saying nonsense. But like, find out what is actually bringing you. I'm not trying to sound like Marie Kondo, but it's bringing you joy. Yeah, like what is it about these that you like? Yeah. So I don't know. It's I feel like I got all serious here at the end.
It's good advice, though, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, each to their own. As you said, everyone should be able to do whatever they want. If you want to buy 1,000 games a year, then go at it if you've got that kind of cash. But I mean, you brought up space as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
we lived in a 4-bedroom house,
Right.
and I had a big games room, and now we live in a tiny apartment. So
Oh, yeah.
that, I had to scale it back even from then.
Right.
And I really want to scale it back even more. I want every
Yeah.
game on this shelf to be a game that I would take off and play.
Right.
I don't want to have games up there where I've silly, I got Dog Park recently and it looks really nice, but am I actually going to play it? I got it because I couldn't help myself when I saw it on Kickstarter. It's got cute dogs in it. I really want it.
I almost backed that one too. I was like that close. I just couldn't do it for some reason. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I want to play each one and then decide, am I going to keep it or not?
Yeah, I think that's the wise thing. Like I have this. I've got the 5x5 Calyx, and then upstairs I've got a few like smaller, kind of similar shelves. But over here is like where our big. I've got like a fold out like game table thing that you put on other tables, and underneath it, I've got like games stacked up from the floor to like the table underneath it. That it's like even if I want to play one, they're kind of a pain to get to because I got to move all this other stuff. So it's kind of ridiculous. So, and
if you go on Twitter and say that, people will say, buy another shelf.
Right?
Is that the best advice?
Yeah. I don't know, but, but all right. I think we've talked about the excesses of board games quite a bit. And there's a lot to say there, but, I think we should probably wrap it up here, I guess. So, Angela, why don't you tell people where they can follow you and watch you and see everything you do?
Well, you can find me on Board Game Gran on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Yeah, that's it really. I am very quiet at the moment though, you will have noticed, and it's because our company is working through getting our seed funding. So the world has gone mad. I am just stupid busy, so that's why I'm not able to be on Twitter all day like I was.
Well, hopefully things will mellow out, and I do highly recommend you check out her channel and follow her on Twitter because she's fantastic in both of those places. So again, I'm going to ask everybody who watches this to please in the comments let us know who won that debate, or if you have any thoughts on that topic. I'd love to hear those as well.
Me too, definitely.
Yeah. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time we put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to see you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed that video, you might also like this one.
Or this one.
If you like any of our videos, what you should do is click this little button to subscribe so you'll know about the next time we put out a video.
We'll see you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.